Malaki, what stands out to you about Georgia Tech's offense, and specifically Haynes King and what you guys are going to be going against?
They've gotten so much better over the years. You know, everybody when they think of this game, they just think, oh, it's Georgia versus Georgia Tech, which is not the case. They're on the uprising as the season comes to an end. So I mean, they do things. They run the ball very well. Their scheme is very good. They have a fast quarterback. They have a good scheme around him. So they just got a very good scheme, and they're doing very good right now. So we just got to be ready.
Obviously, their offensive coordinator Buster Faulkner was just here. Is that apparent when you're watching their offense that you can see a lot of what you guys have been doing at Georgia the last 3 years with what he's doing for them now?
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities between him and Monken. A lot actually. So we took that into play, and we've been talking about it and working on it. They kind of have the same mindset when it comes to running the offense. So there's a bunch that takes over from here or there.
You're coming to a close of your second regular season here. Just where do you feel like you've developed the most as a player from that first game that you impressed so much to now?
I say just being able to communicate. When I first got here, I wasn't much of a talker. I was scared to say the wrong thing, scared to speak up in the game and in practice, whatever the case may be, in meetings. And I don't really have that fear anymore. I'm able to speak up, and if I'm wrong, somebody will correct me. So just being able to communicate, try to be on the same page as everybody and know what other people are doing.
You came so close to duplicating your Oregon interception in the Tennessee game. I just wondered if you assess your effort and what the breakdown of that play.
Yeah, man, I want that one back. It was I misjudged it. I was in phase and I turned around, and when I turned around, the ball was just so high, and I don't get that type of ball in practice. I don't think anybody does around the country. I mean, he has an arm, so when I turned around, it came down. I just didn't know when to jump. If I would have took one more step, I would have been fine, but I jumped too early, slipped in my hands. I get it back though, for sure.
Malaki, I think you said in one of your first interviews that you had to adjust to how you were coached here. Obviously, there's a lot, like you mentioned, people pretty verbal. How would you describe the mood this week in your practices, and how have you contributed now to the way Georgia practices go, as opposed to being that freshman that had to adjust to the getting called out?
Right. It's intense. It's hate week. Everything kind of goes up a little more. Everything kind of ramps up. So. Georgia Tech week around here, nothing playful about it. Practice is very, very intense, and just being that guy that went through it last year, kind of figure out the ends and ropes around it. I'm able to kind of help and duplicate that energy, because last year I was just kind of figuring it out. I always knew it was like a rivalry because I'm from here, but in practice I was like, whoa, like it's completely different from any other week. But I'm kind of able to help guys with that same energy and kind of give it off.
Malaki, along those lines, being from Jefferson, what did you know about this rivalry before you got here, and then the time you've been here? What have you kind of learned?
I know we had a bunch of guys, when I say guys, like coaches, who played here, who played them. I knew it was a big thing. I knew about when they beat us and they ate the hedges or whatever. And then Coach Smart gave us a history lesson earlier this week. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to speak on that or not, so I won't, but nothing bad, but just a history lesson about Georgia and Georgia Tech and how long it goes and stuff like that. So I've learned a lot, and just to be able to take in that information, it just kind of makes the game seem a little more.
I guess without diving too much into that, is that something that's unique to this game, or do y'all get those same kind of history lessons for Florida and Tennessee and other teams that y'all end up playing every year?
I mean, we always kind of get a message around here. I say this game is a little different, just because especially we got a bunch of guys from here that's from Georgia, and they got a bunch of guys that's from Georgia also. So, I mean, it's kind of like, if I had to compare, it's like a state championship game, you know. So, I mean, it's very intense. I say every game kind of has its own history behind it, but this one's just a little different.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Malaki.
Malaki.
Happy
Appreciate it.
Thanksgiving.